This is the Choy martial arts training video. This training video is brought to you by riggio. Here we're going to go through some Choy sandbag training techniques. We're going to cover some traditional moves, and we're going to cover 8 of these moves on a sandbag. We're going to do them in a stationary application on the bag, and also in this video this bag actually moves along on a railer. So we're going to cover this in 2 different ways, so you get the idea of movement and stationary. So watch the video and explain it as I go. So be sure to train them one by one, and then you'll be able to combine them all together. Here we put them all together as a whole routine, smooth, getting the techniques, understanding the movement, the side step, the leg coming backwards, the drawing of the tiger. This routine is done in its traditional format, whereas the bag is in front of you and you have to move around the bag. So as you'll see it in the video, we will move the bag up and down in all different ways. So if you learn it this way, then you can pretty much download it into your brains, into your system, and then you can apply that technique whichever way you want. Okay, so good luck with that, and that brings us to the end of the 8 strikes. Okay, so here we begin the bag striking techniques 1 to 8, and we're going to start with techniques 1, 2 and 3. So 1, 2 and 3 begins with a jab either side, so be sure you're training both sides. So we kick off with a left jab, which then move into our left block and then our right hook fist. So remember that side shuffle we did with the left block. Be sure that you're behind the bag. Be sure that you're training both striking and blocking. Double side skip there, moving around the bag. Here I'm deliberately missing but only hitting with strikes 2 and 3. So I'm training my blocking section. So train everything individually. Everything's got to have power, both sides of the body. Find your position, find your direction, and find your movements. Once you get that right, this technique becomes very devastating. As you can see, punch, block, and a forearm strike straight into the throat, straight into the chest. Okay, so it's punch, create a block, and then make a strike. Okay guys, so be sure to train that blocking hand there, and then make your strike on the bag. Okay, next we're going into techniques 3, 4 and 5. So this is going to come off the hook fist. So what I need you to understand here is that once you make the hook fist, as you can see, I have to drop my hand, make technique 4, and then get ready for technique 5. However, if I miss the bag deliberately, then I'm just ready to come back with technique 4 and 5. So be sure you train both these, because it does make a difference when the bag moves or if the bag is stationary. You want to be able to get that. As you can see here, I hook and then I come across, block and punch. As you'll see later, I will be hitting it with a back fist. Here again, I'm doing a shuffle across, protect my face. Here's my back fist, so now I can apply my power with that number 4 technique. So whether I hit with it or don't hit with it, I've still got to have myself covered. Here I've done my hook fist. Anything that now comes in that window, I'm going to block and punch. So it's a very destructive, very simple movement. Remember to keep that hand up. Here I go into my tiger claw. So by having that hand up, it's very important. That takes you into the next technique, as you'll see. Okay, the next key point I want to take you through is again with technique 4 and 5. However, the biggest thing I noticed with this particular seminar was when the guys did make the block with the right hand and make the strike with the left hand, most guys seem to drop the hand down before making the tiger claw. As you can see here, Graham pulls it down before he scratches out. There's really no need to do that. Once you've made the block and the punch, you should be able to strike your tiger straight out. Here we see it again. This is where Timmy drops his hand. Here you see Dale coming across but not even applying technique 4 or 5. So he's actually left himself open. I've given you a few shots here so you can see it. You've got to be sure that number 4 and 5 comes across, protects you. Try to avoid dropping the tiger down. It must come straight out, just there as you see with Dale, straight out. Once you've covered your face, you must be striking out. There's the block, there's the strike, there's the push, then the kick. There's the block and punch, strike comes out, block, and then make your kick. So everything can flow together, and you can separate these movements apart. But be sure you keep that tiger claw up before you go and make that scratching movement. Here you see the guys actually applying it now. So they get the tiger claw up, protect themselves, then it comes straight out, and then follow on with the rest of the movements. So that the key point there is keep that tiger claw up and let it come straight down when you finish with it. Okay, this brings us to the end of the key point training. So watch those techniques again, train them individually and slowly, and be sure to train them well. Okay, here, so we're going to go through the whole bag routine. I'm just going to take it from different angles, different shots. The bag's moving, the bag's stationary, so try and put everything together. If you've gone through this video and you've broken it down, you should have no problem doing what I'm doing. If you have a rolling bag, then that's great. If you have a stationary bag, then no problem, you can still do it. Again, watch my legs, watch my tiger claw, make sure everything connects on the bag as best you can. Work your ranges. Here I am on the stationary bag, moving around it. As you can see, once I start, I never stop moving. I'm always on the move, moving around, keep my feet moving, keep my hands moving. Make sure the technique is how the technique is in the beginning, from technique 1 to technique 8. If you've got them techniques right, you'll be okay. Again, train the long range, train the short range. Here you see me doing the long tiger claw, but keep in mind that that tiger claw should stay up in protecting you from number 4 technique. As you can see in this video, it comes up and scratches out. So that is the essence of this particular technique here, is tiger claw up, scratch, continuation. Watch with a double jab here and a continuation. It's the way we move it, continuously straight line behind the bag, cross across, around the bag. So if you just look at my feet, you can see that I'm behind it, across it, and then I'm around it. So practice your footwork that allows you to train and chase if you were chasing. Again, it said if you're on a stationary bag, then you would have to be moving around the bag, and you'd have to adjust everything. Okay, this brings us to the end of this Choy sandbag training video, 8 punch combination.